Okay, so the last main stage to do on the zombie is to sculpt in some details like some stitches and the skin detail. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to save as real quick. And then what we want to do is we want to slide this over some and create a new image. We're going to call this stitches, okay? And then we're going to hit Control Up arrow to maximize this window. Then we're going to hit N to bring up properties and go down to image and enable image painting. Okay, so we want to turn this down to about 13, and then we want to create some stitches. Okay, like this. Keep it really simple, whatever looks good to you. Okay, so there's our stitches, and then we save this image as, so we have a copy of it, stitches, tut, and that saves as a PNG. So we can hit Control down arrow, and then we're back over here, hit N, and Blender crashed, and we'll be right back. Okay, so sorry about that. It forgot our image, but we just saved it, so we can go over to our files and find it, and tutorial, and stitches, and we have our image back. Okay, so we hit N to get rid of that and slide this back over. Okay, so there's our stitches. Now what we want to do is we want to go over to textures and set it as image. About Blender crashing, I just want to let you know that Blender is in beta stage, and so hopefully once we get towards the final release of this new set of improvements with Blender, that it won't crash nearly as often. But for now, we gotta work with what we have. So load stitches, and we hit F to save the data block. Even if it has no users, then we hit X, so it's not on our material texture. So what we do next is we come over here to our brush, and we go all the way down to texture, and we select stitches. Okay, now we want to set this as anchored. Then we want to go over here and find a big cut. Looks like the front of the face is the place to do it this time, and drag out our stitches. Now it's way too intense right now, so we're going to undo, Shift F, and bring down the intensity. Looks like we should bring up the intensity a little bit, and just drag your stitches over. Okay, now another thing is our stitches are fading out. We don't want it to do that, so we need to change it to a constant curve over here. So that will keep our whole image on there correctly, and you just mess with it until it looks right. Okay, then we're going to add another little set of stitches right here that are a little bit smaller, and so make it a little bit more intense so they show up quicker. Okay, so I'll add a few more stitches over here. Turn down the intensity a little bit. Thing is, you want to drag it from about the center of where you want the stitches, and then size it up. And so, yeah, that's enough stitches, not too many stitches. Add a little bit of variety to our character. And then the next stage is to create the skin and scratch textures. So first, we're going to create a new texture, call it scratches. Okay. And Blender crashed again. Okay, so I'm back. Apparently there's a bug with Blender's image editor right now, if it's not already painfully obvious. So we want to turn our brush size down this time, and then just do some scratches across this. Turn it up a little bit darker, not quite that big. And then we want to set some even really bright. This will set the intensity or the deepness of the scratch. Okay, so that's our scratch image right there. And we want to save this so we don't lose it. And we'll call it Scratches Tut for the tutorial I'm teaching. So let's turn off image painting in case that's causing any troubles, and then Control down arrow to exit out of there. Now we want to create a new texture and call it Scratches. Save it, select image, come all the way down here and load our scratches. You can load it from your actual file system, but it's already there, so don't worry about that. Alright, Blender crashed again. Okay, sorry about that. Apparently there's a bug in Blender which is causing it to crash a lot. So, my apologies. Scratches, and then of course we go down and set it to the right type of texture. Save real quick. Grab our scratches. Save again. And then remove it from there. And keep saving constantly so we don't lose anything. Alright, so that's our scratches. I'll just demonstrate real quick what that'll look like. We need to change our texture type to the scratches, and then when we drag the scratches on, it'll look like that. But we want to make sure we invert it, subtract it, and so we have sort of a scratchy look. And we don't want it that strong, and we're just going to add a little bit of light detail all over the face. Okay, that's one thing we're going to do. The other thing we're going to do is create one more texture, and we're going to call it pits. Okay, and this is just going to be like skin pits. You can do this in texturing later, but we might as well do it here, and then I can show you how to do it. You turn the size of it down to 0.3, and you can, let me see, go to the coloring and turn down the contrast a little bit. Okay, and that's about it. And we're set up for using this as one of our textures. Now I'm going to go in and show you what that looks like real quick. It adds a little bit of detail, if I can get it dark enough. But this one you do want it to fade out. But you can add a little bit of pits detail. And let me see if add is the correct method for this. So you can use add or subtract, whichever you prefer. But don't make it too dark, and it just gives a little bit of variation to the skin. Okay, so I'm going to speed up this process, and so you can see me doing it quickly. Don't have to wait through it all. And I'm going to add the skin and the scratches, switching back and forth. So we'll be right back.